Whether you like it or not, Scream 7 is coming soon to theater near you, and we've got your trailer breakdown and reaction on the new chapter of Killer Cuts. Yes, Scream 7, the trailer has dropped. Some of the rumors might have been true. Leaks from set might be true. We're going to get into all of that conversation here on this episode chapter of Killer Cuts. That's here on Halloween, surprisingly. Even better. That's even more fun. So trick or treat, all you kiddos out there. I'm Bobby Munson, and joined as always by the natural Astrid Pizarro. Astrid, how are you doing?
Doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to have you back, first of all, and fantastic that we can start off with another Killer Cuts that just so happens to fall into Scream territory, which in fact was what we started with on this show too. It was Scream that kicked us off, and it's Scream that we're talking about here today. The trailer has dropped officially, and we can start talking about all of the things that people are whining about or talking about. And yes, I will say ahead of time, you and I both have talked extensively about, do we boycott this one? Do we watch it? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. As much as I want to stick it to the people in charge that did dirty by Melissa and everybody else that were involved originally with Scream 7, at the end of the day, I'm still a horror movie fan, and it's really, really difficult for me not to want to watch this or be a part of it. So here we are. I think we're on board with having to see how this pans out, regardless of our feelings towards what they did to Melissa.
Yeah, it's something that's bittersweet, to be honest. But at the same time, whenever Melissa drops whatever she does next, I will support her 100%. Because either way, she's the one that deserves the support more than the company does. But it's something that nostalgia-wise, I can't let go of a Scream movie at the same time. So it's that's why I say it's bittersweet. It's the only way I can describe it, because I love the movie, but I still don't love what happened with her. And I'm not happy with the way the story is going to be at the moment because of her and Jenna's absence. But, we'll deal with it for now, and hopefully in the future they'll ensure back so they can finish up and tie it up in a little ribbon for us.
Well, hopefully we're having a conversation about Melissa and Scary Movie 6 before long. That would be a pleasant surprise. Hopefully that's the direction that they'll go. More on that later, though. We should probably get right into this trailer, start watching it. And then we'll discuss it. So we're going to watch it first, and then we will discuss what happens after. So let me just go ahead. I will share my screen with everybody. And I also encourage everybody to go and check the trailer out themselves. It is available on YouTube and other platforms. So you don't have to just watch it here. Go check it out elsewhere as well, too. But here we go. Scream 7.
This is it.
Can't believe we're staying at the Psycho Killer B&B.
Oh, that's so cool. It's a motion detector.
Okay, I just wanted to pause it for a second there because it's kind of interesting to see the scene like right after we show the animatronic situation there, but then it just cuts to the guy's wife by herself. It makes me think, like, is it definitely Ghostface at that point, or like, because they're so into this whole spooky Airbnb real life murder thing, did he go and grab a Ghostface costume? Like, is there like excess Ghostface costumes in the house that you can mess around with? And he's doing it as kind of a prank scare, but then he's going to end up getting his from Ghostface shortly after that. Because we don't see him in that frame. That's the curious part. There's no him in the frame. And he was kind of at an angle before by the animatronic Ghostface that you'd think that he would see that Ghostface walking in there kind of thing. So it makes me think she's isolated at that point.
I also think it's ironic because the real life, like, Stumacher house, it is an Airbnb, so people can book at certain times, and some people have booked it to see it as a tour, and to, like, we've seen, like, the Deb Mead, Chelsea and James have done a little breakdown within the house. So there's at times you can book it as an Airbnb. So I thought it was ironic that we have this, like, probably be in the opening scene, to be honest.
And not only that, I mean, well, that leak kind of came about. This is the opening scene, but did you notice that they've also, like, the decor is done up like when it was Stu's house and not when Amber was living there,
Yeah.
kind of thing, to kind of do the throwback to the original.
Mhm.
But there was the tape outlines on the floor of both Richie and Amber, so they are including that as part of the canon. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens next.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Did you miss me? Nice little town you found. You and your pretty daughter. Reminds me of where we grew up.
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sydney. Not this time.
Down to the end.
I want to be a fighter, like you. If you hurt her.
I'm not going to hurt her until you're here to see it.
Let's unmask this fucker.
All your friends died for just being near you.
Ooh, I gotta pause it there for a second. Sorry to keep pausing it, but you heard the voice. Like, that's Dewey's voice right there. And what a cruel prank. Like, of course, that is not a line that Dewey would ever use in any way, shape, or form. And to use that against them, to like, that obviously is directed at Sydney, and to have it go like, all of your friends died that know you, kind of, they like, absolute just heartbreaking. And I can imagine the emotion in that, like the fact that you're gonna hear Dewey's voice saying something like that, and how it's gonna impact the people in this thing is just wild, kind of crazy.
Yeah, I recognized it too, and I told that to my brother. He didn't notice it at first, and I was like, that is doing that. So it made me think back of like the AI aspect of this is definitely running, and running wild, especially with the Dewey voice here.
Yeah, and we know about all the returns. We'll talk more on that in a moment too. So
Where is my daughter?
Tatum, listen to me. He's trying to find another way in.
We're gonna do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it. He's dead. You need to make sure you shoot him in the head.
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Mother!
This is gonna be fun.
all right, go. So that's very interesting.
Go back and go little by little. Because I was gonna say, after the Airbnb, I think it's ironic when you think about Sydney, because she's always said at the beginning, like the first couple movies, that she doesn't have a cell phone because of what happened to her, and now she has a cell phone. And the color, this says Woodsboro, and she still answers it, like knowing what's coming from there. You still go and answer it. That's a new side of Sydney that I feel like we haven't like really gotten to like really go into before, because now she has a cell phone and she's answering it, but she's also recording the call, which I think is pretty clever on her end. But it's also thinking of how suspicious she has to be around people that she's recording the calls that she gets to. So I thought that was very interesting, and I love the Tatum tribute, having her daughter being called Tatum. And one scene that I do like a lot, the one that they're like almost like in the hallway of the house, and then Ghostface is like tapping it with the knife until they stab the wall. And that just reminds me a lot of Scream 2. Like, there's two particular scenes in Scream 2 that always get me, no matter how many times I've seen it. And it's when Sydney's climbing over the Ghostface to get out of the car, and when Gil is soundproof studio. And it just reminds me so much of that when I see that particular scene. It connects me back to those two particularly. And thinking also her friends, somebody pointed out that McKenna has the plaid pattern on her skirt. That is something that we usually get in most of the killers in Scream, with the plaid pattern there. So I was like, oh, I didn't think about that at first. So I thought that was super interesting too.
It is interesting. It's also interesting if you've seen McKenna Grace's comments online that she enjoyed going back to watch Nev Campbell film scenes from Scream, which, if you're in the final scene, makes a lot of people believe that, generally you've died in the movie at some point in time, kind of thing. And so that's where a lot of people I know have already been contemplating, could she actually, that could be a almost like a deep fake, like kind of like tricking us a little bit. But yeah, it's interesting though. It is a thing to be brought up, right? Like, because I mean, she says she comes back to see things filmed. I mean, could they have filmed the final scene after the unmasking, and then she comes back to watch any of the scenes that they would have used a stunt person in the Ghostface mask and in those particular scenes, kind of thing. So very, very interesting. It's a lot of the things that leaked are definitely in this trailer. Now, I don't know if that's intentionally done by the studio and the people behind it saying, okay, you've heard this stuff, so we'll just give it to you. And then you don't know the whole story. Like, even with Ghostface getting shot there and presumably standing back up again, kind of thing, it makes me wonder. It's like, okay, is that where Ghostface kind of captures Sydney's daughter, or is it that maybe we get a Ghostface unmasking early? Could we have a mid Ghostface unmasking halfway through this film or something? Because there is a lot of rumor that there's more than one Ghostface, and that this is potentially, like I've said it before, like almost like there's multiple out there, kind of thing, almost making it impossible for Sydney to run moving forward.
Yeah, I think that part is also very interesting, because we always mention, especially in Scream 3, is very highlighted about Sydney going shoot him in the head, is when she tells Dewey about Roman. So I think it's always interesting that she's, even though she said it before, but that movie is really highlighted, that she's always said shoot him in the head. And then that's something that she yells at Tatum to do as well. It was like, so just go by the body, shoot him in the head too before we continue. And I think they give us very quick glimpses of Courtney Cox and the twins too, which I was hoping to get a little more out of them. The twins are just like a quick glimpse, and that's about it. The part that really, really, really stood out to me was the burning of the Stumacher house, because I was telling my family about it, so I was breaking down the trailer to them, and I thought this is the foundation of the story, the Stumacher and the Billy aspect of it. So to have the house burned down, if we do get another movie, so it's going to be completely out of the movie, and that's going to be so weird at the same time, because I don't say all of them, but a lot of the city movies involve that house or the mention of it somehow. So I think it's going to be pretty different when you get the next one and it doesn't involve the house whatsoever.
Yeah, kind of almost like a burning of the past, like there's no going back to that anymore, kind of thing, and everything. But it's also curious about like you say about the cell phone ringing and Woodsboro, and yet the killer also says on the phone that it's like nice little town you found there, kind of like the one we grew up in. I think they want you to ponder, is Stu going to be a killer? Because everyone knows Matthew Lillard's returning. So could he be alive? Will we debunk the theory finally after all these years, kind of thing? Did Stu actually live back from 1996 when this all went down? I still don't think that's the direction they're going to go. I think that there's going to be a lot of trickery to make people believe it to be very possible throughout. I think he's part of AI. He's going to be, in like video calls and things like that to really make them believe that he is. But I do also believe that the story connects to him. I think that we're going to find out that a lot of the motivation is driven by Stu Macher. Whether that's a link to somebody directly involved with him, like there's been rumors of his sister's appearance in this movie, or do we call it like the call to Ghostface, but people admire Stu. Stu was their killer, and that's the one the fans love the most. So could this be the one that now these new aged killers within the Scream universe are adoring Stu Macher as their leader of all leaders, kind of thing, and they want to follow in his footsteps? But to do that, what are they doing? They go after the final girl, and not necessarily go after her in the same way. It's not about killing Sydney. The key word was, I'm not going to harm your daughter until you're here to see it. It doesn't mean that these killers want Sydney dead. They want to torture Sydney, and they want to torture her in the worst way, which is taking out anybody that she ever knows and loves, making it impossible for Sydney to run and for her to live in complete torture for everything over the years. And I think it's a very new sadistic way to go about it, and it's got my interest up for sure.
I wanted to add 2 points to that too, that we mentioned, to add another layer to it about the like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything until you're here. In one of the particular scenes, it almost looks like a factory, some kind of abandoned building, and there's somebody getting wrapped up in like plastic, and it looks like Mark because it looks like
Yep.
the actor, I forgot his name. So the fact that we're so focused on the daughter in the trailer, but also we see him being a part of this too, and it looks like he's being suffocated by the plastic, which I feel like is something different in a way for a Ghostface to be killing somebody that way as well. So it's always interesting when they focus on the daughter, but we kind of forget about the husband because it's not really mentioned most in the trailer here. But I think there's one quick glimpse in the house when the lights turn off behind Sydney. He's in front of her, but that's what we really see about him. And then all of a sudden he's in that building, almost it looks like he's getting choked out somehow. But he's not mentioned by the Ghostface of like, I'm gonna kill your husband. It's like, it's your daughter that I want, basically. So I think that in the part that you said about Stu, because one thing that you notice, especially in the original like trilogy, we focus a lot on Billy because we get Billy in the first one, his mom in the second one, and then his daughter in the fifth and sixth one. So it's like we always go around like that lineage of the Billy's family here. And he keeps mentioning that when he's doing the he's like when Sam's getting the visions of him too. You hear him mention that quite often about the family legacy sort of thing about them. And they mention something about like, oh yeah, that's Stumacher's like family or whatever, but they don't really like, they kind of glance over it. So it makes you think of like, we had this whole timeline of Billy basically, but nothing about Stu's family. Like nobody from Stu's family wants to get revenge in any way, shape, or form, even though Billy's family did. Like that, it almost feel like it didn't make sense too. So if they do explore that kind of timeline, I feel like it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I'd be a little bit more on board with the idea that it's not even necessarily his direct family, but people who want to believe they're his family, they're his children, right? Like they're all his children, and they're gonna live out his legacy now, kind of thing. I like that angle so much better than them following the movies, kind of thing. And it's not that I love the revenge angle so much. I almost think that this would be a cool new thing to go with the whole cult idea and admiring a particular killer that happened in the Scream series and wanting to live it out, or live out what they started, kind of thing, and it's their time to now say no, to hell with Billy. He's not the one. Roman's not the one. No, our guy is Stu, kind of thing. And I think that could lend to a very, very interesting movie here with this. It looks interesting. It's got a lot of hype to it. It's cool. I mean, again, I know a lot of people are torn, and we have been too, but we're going to see it and we're going to review it here, and we can't help ourselves. I mean, let's just face it. It's like, you know what? F you, Spyglass, and everything you did, but please come on. Like, just people understand it's horror movies, and unfortunately we still got to watch them.
I am also very impressed by the numbers too, because it's been a little bit over 24 hours. And to give you numbers, the one on Twitter has almost 11 billion views. The one on TikTok has 16 million. And the one on YouTube has 9.5 million. So almost 10. Like, imagine those big numbers for a trailer that just came out like a day and a half ago, basically, at this point. And it's like, it's been only one day, basically. To think of like it's probably been like that. And if it's like me, so many people like replaying and trying to get anything they can see out of it and be like, I feel like this is what's happening out of it. But it's pretty interesting that it has better numbers that even 6 did at that point too, because 6, when the trailer debuted, they had big numbers for the first couple of days. So to think like this already broke the popularity that 6 had, I feel like it's another layer to it. And thinking of, even with everything happening, Melissa, people are so happy to see Neff Campbell back too, because we missed her in the last one. So it's just nice to see her be back. I'm always curious. I think about like them being involved and how her and Courtney are going to deal with not having Dewey here in this one together as well. So I feel like moving forward is going to be pretty interesting, especially now with the twins being involved but not having the Carpenter sisters. Like, there's so many parts to it that are just giving me reasons to want to check it out even more.
Yeah, even Gail arriving with the twins. My understanding is with the leaks that the twins work with Gail, and that's where they show up. And the mention of the Carpenter sisters is that they're in witness protection. Was the other leak kind of thing? Is that's the way to kind of say this is why they're not here, even though we completely screwed them over and didn't invite them back, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not the fault of Kevin Williamson or Nev Courtney or anybody else involved with the movie directly there. It's the producers and everybody behind the company that caused this mess. But either way, I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I gotta watch it. I gotta know what arc they go with Sydney's story and Gail's story and everybody's story. And I got to know what's going to happen. I just got to know. You brought all these people back. I need to know what you're going to do with it. Is it going to be worth the time? I guess we'll find out come the end of February. So, one last question before we go, though, Astrid. Has this piqued your curiosity a little bit more? Are you a little bit more intrigued to go and see this movie?
Yeah, because I just kept thinking that for me is that nostalgia aspect of it. Every time I get to see a Scream movie in the movie theater, it's always amazing for me. And just thinking about how I'm so curious about it, and there's so many, like you said, thinking about the cast, how we have so many people that are missing from the trailer in itself. Like I said, we only get like the glimpse of Joel McHale there. McKenna's only there for like not even 5 seconds there too. And Mark Consuelos, I didn't see him in the trailer either. And the fact that we have all the like past cold faces that are returning, we don't have them in the trailer either. So it piques my interest of like what's gonna happen here, what's gonna be moving forward. And Anna Camp is the other one that's also missing from the trailer. So it's like there's so much more to it that we're not seeing too. So it makes me more interested to watch it.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they got a few sneaky surprises in there that they didn't leak to the media yet about what we're going to see. So, well, guess we'll find out in February. Looking forward to it. But Astrid, why don't you let wonderful viewers know what you got coming up and where they can find you next?
You can find me on Tuesdays doing Taking Over with Ed. This week we're doing Jersey City Wrestling, I believe it's the Luna Vachon Invitational. I know they have Billy Starks and a bunch of other ladies involved in there too, so we're really excited to be discussing that. I believe it's on the GCW YouTube channel if you want to join us to watch it. So that'll be it. Aside from that, you can find me in my Twitter blue skies at Astrid Pizarro, my Instagram and Threads as Pizarro20. And if you're on my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified when I upload or go live, and hit the like button. Do the same thing with the OLE one.
Fantastic. For myself, Bobby Munson, my ticker down below where you can reach out to me on social media and what I've got coming up. Of course, this Sunday, it's Point of View, where we're going to be talking about your week in sports and getting down with our NFL predictions. You can find me Thursday night with Papa Smokes on Ring Respect Radio, where I believe finally we're going to be able to hopefully review SPW New Zealand's Halloween Haunting show. If it doesn't hit the internet in time, though, we will be doing a trip through the territories. But stay tuned to social media during the week to find more out. And that social media is over at OLE Podcast. You can find us across all social media as well as YouTube and Twitch. We appreciate any thumbs up, follows, likes, subscribes. Hit the notification bell down below and make sure to leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. What did you think of the Scream 7 trailer? And are you interested or are you on the side of boycott Scream 7? Let us know in the comment section below and have yourselves a spooktacular Halloween evening. Take care, everybody.